Should I do book haul first? More people are interested in book hauls than what I've read.
So make them wait.
The last couple videos I've been doing have been vlog-like videos, so I haven't sat down and talked for a while. I've read a lot in the past couple days already because I'm on school break, and so I have more time to read. So, other than I just went on vacation. So I didn't read at all during vacation, but I've read a book and a half since I've gotten back from vacation. School break.
Summer break.
I'm on break from school. I'm on a school break.
Summer break.
It's summer break. I'm getting made fun of. In mid-March, I made a books I've read recently video where I talked about the books I read recently from January to like mid-March. I timed it really poorly. I don't know why I'm doing these like half months, but now it's the mid-May. If you hear comments from the side, there is a Gavin to the side who is writing a short story about a sexy vampire lady and her multiple husbands. So this is going to be books I've read recently. I've read 9 books since mid-March, and it is mid-May now. How many times am I going to say that? My God. And it is also going to be a book haul because I've gotten quite a lot of books recently. You're laughing at me.
I'm laughing at the funniest bitch alive.
I'm getting laughed at. This is why I don't film with other people in the room. Quickly, I did talk about most of these already in vlogs I've done, so like if you're really interested about my reading process, how the journey of reading went with some of these books, you can go watch those 2 vlogs. Not all of them are in those, but I'm also currently working on my physical TBR challenge, and I think I'm still around 33% because I've read a lot of physical TBR books recently, but I've also bought a lot more. I've bought a lot of new physical TBR books as well. Anyways, first book I read was actually a reread. The second season of Shadow and Bone came out, and I was craving a reread of Six of Crows. So, I reread Six of Crows. Six of Crows is a heist novel written by Lee Bardugo based in the Grishaverse, based around 6 crows. They're not really crows, they're people, but each of them brings a piece of personality to this heist group. Like, one's a sharpshooter, one's the mastermind, one's, has her Grisha powers. They all have their, little things they bring to it. They go on this big heist, and the group dynamic is a lot of fun. 5 stars. This is still a favorite for me. I love Six of Crows so much. I think after this reread, the first book is my favorite. I think I liked the first book better than the second book. I didn't technically finish The Crooked Kingdom, but I have an hour left on the audiobook, and it's been an hour left on the audiobook since March. I haven't picked it up again since March. I don't know anymore. I can't tell which one I like better, but they're both 5 stars. I love them both very much. But I reread Six of Crows, and everything but the last 50 pages of Crooked Kingdom. I really should just finish it. I'm not counting this one as finished because it's not finished, but they were both rereads, and I love them very much. I love Kaz and Anej, and if you haven't read this duology yet, go read it. I don't even think you need to read Shadow and Bone. Just go read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Would you say that? Would you say you need to read Shadow and Bone before Six of Crows?
If you want the basics of the world of the Grishaverse, it's very helpful. Learn what the Grisha are and that kind of
But
stuff.
which one is better?
Six of Crows.
Which is better, Six of Crows or King of Scars?
Six of Crows.
Yeah. But yeah, first book I read, Six of Crows. Still a 5-star read. Still really love it. Still recommend it. It's probably one of my top 5 books. Next was, I've read 2 books for classes, so I'm just going to put them together because they're both William Shakespeare books, plays, screenplays, scripts. They're not screenplays. And I read The Tempest and Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare. The Tempest I hated. This is probably one of my least favorite Shakespeare plays. I rated it 1 star. It was probably because I was reading it while also getting ready to go to Sabrina Carpenter's concert, and so I didn't want to read it, and so I just hated it, and I was hating that I was being forced to read it because I just wanted to get ready to go to the concert. Anyways, Tempest I hated, and then Much Ado About Nothing I gave 3 stars. That one was actually a lot of fun. Nothing happened in it, and nothing happened in it. It's very just a fun time. Though I do think it's one of my favorite Shakespeare's. Much Ado About Nothing and Taming of the Shrew are probably my two favorite. And the females in Taming of the Shrew and Much Ado About Nothing are kind of similar. The next 4 books were part of a reading vlog that I did. I'll have a part 2 coming soon. Maybe if I can convince myself to read the other 4. But I read the first 4 books of Bridgerton. Bridgerton is a Regency retelling, it's a Regency romance book based around Daphne, who is coming out in her first season, and she's trying to get married and have kids, and so she decides to have a fake relationship with this duke named Simon in order to make her look like the most wanted, special diamond woman any man could want. So they start this like fake courting relationship so that he doesn't have to deal with other women, and she's trying to get all these other men like attracted to her. It's this whole thing. I have a whole video dedicated to reading the first 4 books of Bridgerton. What a time. These books are something. They're something. Bridgerton, The Duke and I rated 1 star. There was a lot of problematic themes, problematic sexual assault kind of things going on. It wasn't my favorite. I prefer the TV show over any of these books, basically. There's just a lot of problems. I really enjoy that the TV show got rid of a lot of those toxic issues, as well as made the cast a lot more diverse, because everybody's just white and straight in these books. The Viscount Who Loved Me, I gave 1.5 stars. These 2 books follow a very similar plot, and I hate Antony. So, third book, Offer from a Gentleman, I rated 2 stars. This is a Cinderella retelling. This is Benedict's story. Enjoyed it a lot more because the plot was different from the first 2. I still had some issues with it, mostly with red flags and like societal things that are happening in this. Like there's this whole situation where he's like blackmailing her, and I'm like, do we really need that? No, but okay. I'm a hoe for Cinderella retellings. I loved watching Cinderella when I was a kid. She was like my favorite princess before Rapunzel. Obsessed with Cinderella retellings. There's a ton of them. I will forever read Cinderella retellings because I'm obsessed with them, even though they basically follow the same plot over and over and over and over again, and they're very predictable, but hey, I love them. So Bridgerton meets Cinderella retelling is kind of fun. All the Bridgerton men are really similar in the books. They don't have that much of a difference between them. And then Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, I also gave 2 stars. I like Penelope a lot because she is different from the 3 other girls of the previous books. Colin, he still had some issues, but I do think this was the least amount of like toxicity, like red flags in this book. That's a plus. That's something it has going for it. I don't have much to say about the Bridgerton books. They're just there. I can see how people would enjoy them because they're kind of like...
It's just a mind-numbing activity.
Yeah.
Not much brain power goes into reading them.
That sounds mean, doesn't it?
It does, but that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Everyone's just stupid who loves these books.
No, I'm not saying people are stupid if they read these. I can see why they're entertaining, and like if you're reading these, you're obviously not reading them for like the intellectual value. It's a bodice ripper. It's
a bodice ripper?
Yeah, they're like the original like Harley Quinn bodice ripper romances. Like they're purely there for the romance and nothing else. So like you don't need to think while reading them, which can be fun for a book, honestly. Like, if I just want, like, a really easy book to read and don't want to think about anything while reading it other than it's a cute little romance, like, Bridgerton is the way to go. You can just sit down and, like, read the whole book, and, like, it can be a fun time. If you're not... I think too much into these books. Like, I'm, like, going into them being like, these have to be romance masterpieces because everybody's obsessed with them, and they were made into a Netflix show. Like, they were made into the Netflix show. Like, these have to be perfect romances, and I don't know why I went into it thinking that way, because they're really just trashy little romances. Let's say that. I'm not saying, like, people who read these are stupid, or enjoy them are stupid, because, like, there was entertainment in these. Those are the 4 books of Bridgerton. I hope I said that right. Like, I don't want to offend anybody, and if you love these books, I'm glad you loved them. I need a little more plot with my romance. I need it to be like 70% romance, 30% plot, and these are just like 99% romance. And the romance smutty scenes aren't even good in them, because most of the time I'm like, is this a red flag? And most of the time the answer is yes. I then read Sabriel by Garth Nix. I read here's this. I read Sabriel by Garth Nix. Was a Time. This is a urban fantasy set, I think it's, what the time setting was like weird to me. I think it's like 2000s, I think, or because they have phones. But necromancy, the main girl is this necromancer who is trying to keep the dead dead. Like, she's not actually trying to like bring them back to life. She's like a necromancer who's trying to keep dead people dead. I don't really know how to explain this book other than it's like her, who is a necromancer. She's trying to find her dad, who has gone missing. Yeah, I think that's the best way to explain what Sabriel is. This was the family book club pick. So I was forced to read this for book club, and I gave it 1 star. It just wasn't for me. It's written in third person, omniscient. There's a very specific style of writing that I just tend to not like, and that is this third person writing style. It's the way stories are told. It's the way Mistborn is told. That's why I didn't like Mistborn, even though I liked this like story, and I felt like if it was written a different way, I would have liked it. Same with this story. Like, if it was written like by a different person, I think I might have liked the story of it. But Sabriel just wasn't for me. I didn't like the writing style. I thought the main girl was really annoying. The cat was annoying, and I can't believe I'm saying that because I love cats, and I love when cats are in books and they're like fun little creatures in books, but this like little demon of a cat was so annoying, and I just didn't care for most of it. Like, the plot was boring. I kept falling asleep during it. There just wasn't much happening, but a lot was happening. It's hard to explain. It felt like a lot of things were happening, but I didn't care about any of the things happening. So there was that. We'll not be continuing on with that series. And then let's talk about this book, which I'm excited to talk about. So this book has been taking Bookstagram by storm. I'm seeing so many people that I love on Bookstagram talking about it and recommending it. It's going crazy right now. It's blowing up, and it just came out, and I had never heard of it until literally the day it was released, and everybody was posting about it, and I was like, what is this book? And I was at the bookstore on a Tuesday, and Barnes & Noble had a special edition. This is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This. I saw this edition and I was like, ooh, what is that book? It looks so good. And then my friend was posting about it, and like every Bookstagram freaking account was posting about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm interested. And so I bought it, and then I read it. I bought the book and read it within like a week of each other. That is the goal. That is what we want to do. We don't want physical bars, so if we buy a book, we gotta read it. This is Fourth Wing, and it was a fun time. I haven't, like, read a book that I was this invested in a long time. Maybe since Chain of Thorns. Still wasn't a 5-star read for me, and probably like a 4.5. It was really close to being a 5-star read for me. Fourth Wing is blowing up right now. It's so popular right now. But I felt like it was blowing up, but nobody knew what it was actually about. They were just hearing that it was good. Fourth Wing is like a Divergent, but not Divergent, with dragons and like dragon riders, and it's this adult fantasy romance. It's really good. I couldn't stop reading it once I started reading it. I read it really fast. It's like 500 pages. Read the first chapter in the bookstore before I bought it and really liked it, and then went on vacation, so I couldn't touch it. And then when I got back from vacation, it took me like a day and a half to read. I just like blew through it. It's enemies to lovers, but not like a lot of enemies to lovers books today just like say they're enemies to lovers, but like they don't really hate each other that much in the beginning. Have you noticed this? Like, they say it's enemies to lovers, but like there's really no reason for them to hate each other in the beginning.
Like with lore, there's reason for them to hate each other. They just don't.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of books recently where it's like titled or like labeled as an enemies to lovers trope. There's no reason for them to hate each other in the beginning. It's just like they're enemies, they hate each other, but you never know why, and they're just gonna start liking each other. This one, like, you could tell why they hated each other, and they actually hated each other, and it eventually grew. This book takes place over like a year of time. It spans across time a bit. You see that progress of them starting to trust each other and like each other, like a lot of enemies to lover trope books aren't doing. So I really liked that about this book. I love dragons. I love dragon riders. Let's talk about. Oh, there's also chronic illness rep in this. There is some spice. I'm trying to explain this book. It's hard to explain. It's about this society where people are split up into different groups, and that's why it's kind of related to Divergent, because of like the different categories within the Divergent society. I haven't read Divergent in a long time. They're called like classes or something, right? People are kind of split up into different classes. The main girl eventually, in the beginning, wants to become a scribe, but then is kind of forced to go into the path of being a dragon rider, and dragon riders are basically the dauntless of the society. They're really dangerous. A lot of them end up dying. I think only like 10% of like the first year class actually ends up surviving in the end. They're trying to kill each other because they want to be successful and they want to be like the dragon rider. 20% actually get to go meet the dragons, and then the dragons decide, and if the dragon doesn't like you, the dragon just kills you. It's a lot of like high risk situations happening. There's trials happening, there's challenges happening, but they're also in a school. The 0.5 reason is really stupid, and I know it's stupid, and it's because the dragons talk. I hate when dragons talk. I don't know why it bugs me so much, and I think it's because when dragons talk, they're either one of two things. They're super childish, or they're like super all-knowing and powerful, and I'm like, I don't know. When dragons talk, it like makes me cringe. I don't know why. It's the same if like a cat talks in a book. I don't know why. I just feel like dragons and humans shouldn't be able to communicate with each other. I need like a toothless hiccup bond. Like there's no talking between them, but they still have a really good bond. That's why I love How to Train Your Dragon so much, because I love dragons, but I just cringe when they talk. So that's like literally why it's a 4.5 and not 5 stars for me. I know it's a stupid reason, it's just how it is. And I don't know why I cringe so hard when dragons talk, I just do. I'm also halfway through I'm Glad My Mom Died. I just wanted to mention it. I'll talk more about it the next wrap-up thing I do. I'm really liking it though. Let's get into the book haul. I already talked about Fourth Wing. I just bought this and read it within like a week of buying it, which is the goal. Really loved this book. Go read it. Everybody's talking about it right now. Just go read it. Okay? Book 1 of my haul. I don't have that many books to haul. I also bought, continuing on with what I've read, the next 4 Bridgerton books. And I will be reading To Sir Philip with Love soon, because the audiobook is arriving soon, and I borrowed it from Libby. I bought them used, so they were a pretty good deal, and I now have them on my TBR, so I have to read them. And I will get to them eventually, because I'm just going to finish the Bridgerton series, because I might as well at this point, because I've already read 4 of them. Next book is a book I got at Barnes & Noble when I picked up Fourth Wing, and that is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. This is, I've heard really good things about this. This is supposed to be just like cute, fluffy, fun time about an orc and a tiefling, I think, who opens a coffee shop in this town where nobody knows what coffee is, and so she has to like introduce people to what coffee is and like run her little cafe, and it's just supposed to be like a fun little cute time. I'm really excited to read this one. Next is 2 books that go together, and that is Ninth House and Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. These are the that's a lie. I was going to say the only Leigh Bardugo books I haven't read. I haven't read her Wonder Woman book, though. I need to read these. I love Leigh Bardugo. I'm really excited to read them. These are like dark academia Oxford. I really don't know what they're about.
Cult.
It's about a cult? Dark magic? Murder?
Cult.
Alex Stern is part of Yale's freshman class. Oh, it's not fantasy at all. Maybe it's an urban fantasy. Hold on. Forbidden Magic, Raise the Dead. It sounds very culty. You're right. Do you know it's about a cult?
Yeah, it's a cult.
It's a cult.
Yeah.
He claims it's about a cult. But I have these 2. I will be reading them soon, hopefully. I can't actually wait to read these. I think it's done. I think this was just a duology. I was kind of waiting to read Ninth House until the full series was out, because I just want to binge them all. So hopefully I'll be able to read these soon. Like I said, TBR challenge. I need to get through more books before I buy more books, but I just bought more books. So my last 2 books are Fairy Loot books. So I have 7 Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb. This is... oh... pretty is what it is. I don't know what month this was, and it's about a brooder. It's about a killer in a city ruled by 7 faceless saints. It has magic. There is a captain and a spy. I don't know anything about this. It's a murder mystery! Other fairy loot book I have is The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten. I actually got an arc of this and never ended up reading it because I'm the worst. I've heard this book is really good though. I've heard really good things about it. Cult. This one has to do with a cult. Were you mixing Ninth House and this? Or you think they're both about cults?
I think they're both.
They're both about cults. Okay, this is about a cult, poisons, and a king. Oh my god. Can't wait to read this. This edition is also super, super pretty because it's fairy loot. I love fairy loot editions. And those are all the books I bought recently. A little tiny haul so that I can put these on my shelf and have more space to haul books, even though I won't be hauling books because I'm trying to get through my physical TBR. Mean. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll be able to time this better next time so we're not doing mid-month to mid-month and I can start just doing, like, this is what I read in May, this is what I read in June, so on and so on. Like, comment, subscribe, I'll see you later.
And I'll be seeing
you, that's it.
Soon.
Oh god, no one's gonna get that. I wasn't recording that.
Okay.
In Indiana Jones.
So it's your new thing.
No, it's not my new thing.
Yes, it is.
We got stuck in line.
Gotta escape the void.
And Indiana Jones. And when you're in the room where they do the spiel, where he's like talking about like, wear your seatbelts and stuff like that, they mute that when you're stuck in that room. And so Gavin was ad-libbing it. And at the end he goes, like, comment, and subscribe.
And I'll be seeing
you. Crap.
Soon.
Yeah, that.
Fake fan.
I'm a fake fan. No, I use her for that. Yeah. Look at this cute baby.